pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Count me in. The Esports Broadcasting Network proudly presents Championship Dirt Racing, brought to you by the DOB. Tonight we bring you the 410 Sprint Cars live from Kokomo, and immediately following the A feature here, we will be going to Eldora for the Big Block Modifieds. Joey Trapasso up on the booth with you tonight, joined with me by my partner in crime, the man, the myth, the living legend, Mr. Ben Bruno, in the broadcast booth with me, and over in the production truck, the other man, myth, and legend himself, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett. Gentlemen, welcome to the middle of Indiana.
Glad to be back in here with you yet again, Tony. Last week from Knoxville, unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch most of that due to work, but a great race seeing Daniel Zeggers finish that one out front, 35 laps, 28 of those laps led by Zeggers, followed by Detweiler and Sheridan. Braden Eiler in fourth, and Joshua Cotton bringing home a solid fifth place finish. And we've got quite the change of gears from Knoxville.
Oh, absolutely. We go from the monster half mile that is the World Center Sprint Car Racing to the very tight quarter mile bull ring that is Kokomo Speedway. And from the looks of it, 39 drivers showing up here tonight in the pits. Hot laps getting ready to wind on down. We are going to bring you solo qualifying, 2 laps to get it done, and we will invert into the heat races here. 10-lap heats, 4 transfer to the feature, and we are inverting 4. So if you start pole, you start outside row number 2 in the final heat race. Cars starting to make their way out on track as Kevin Hanley rolling it, as is Darren Detweiler in the 33. Kevin Clark out on track, Alexander Stoutinger. Detweiler already up on the high cushion. Lap 1, 11.123. Now, these guys were getting down into the 10s during the hot lap session, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, with a track like this and cars like this going around it, it's going to take a lot of moisture out of that one as more times rolling it in. Joshua Steinke with an 11.055 to top the board. And what the split back between the top 3 and even further than that. But Kevin Click sitting second with 11.058. Joe Quinn gets knocked back a spot to fourth with an 11.059 as Braden Eiler the first to find the 10s with a 10.876. So a torrent pace for Braden Eiler.
And with as whooped as the track is right now, that was flying. To go sub 11s with the track conditions the way that they currently are, these guys are just flat getting it right now. As Krusty Kruger goes sub 11, as does Ken Hoffman. So 3 guys able to put it sub 11 in qualifying, as Alex Zerniski out on track right now to finish his. Tyson Landis rolling right now to complete lap 2. Not the lap he was hoping for, though, as that's going to put him 31st. Let me say that again, 31st. As qualifying winds on down, Kenny Miller and David Fink electing to not roll out for qualifying here, as heat race number 1 getting ready to grid on up. Looks like Anthony Job going to be starting on point. Chris
Sebastian.
Gesundheit. Starting outside row number 1. Alex Zerniski in row 3. He's going to be joined with Brandon Eiler, your quick time winner here tonight. Chris Roberts and Andrew Clark making up row number 3 with row 4 going to Tyson Landis. And Nathan, I'm not even going to try it because I know it's going to be an insult what you said. So anyways, 8 cars scheduled to roll off here tonight, just waiting on the stragglers to grid on up. And I gotta say, it's good to be back on the dirt with you guys, because I was actually kind of missing that. Right now, Frank Marchese over in the TNT Truck Series, and it looks like they were having some pretty good fun. As I was watching part of that broadcast, you can jump over and watch the replay of that after we're done here tonight. But we have 7 of our 8 cars, and the 420 electing to not grid up. So field rolling off behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing. Job, and one more time.
Sebaski.
Okay. I know I'm going to butcher that tonight, so gentlemen, I do apologize. But Job and Sebaski going to be starting in row number 1. Job going to have the button as they invert the top 4 for each heat race, so in reverse order of how they qualified. And it looks like we are going with 5 heat races tonight. Good grief. As the pace truck turns in, going down the back straightaway, field working its way into turn number 3. Leader can fire off anytime in the middle of 3 and 4. Job pulls the trigger, and we got melee at the back already.
And with that, Job going to be able to get a good start but he is under heavy pressure from
Oh!
Sebastian. Contact.
That's a
Up front
caution.
between Sebastian and Job going in there as Sam Cooper Bennett gets back up, gets it on the screen for you guys. Sebastian coming in hot, but Job into the wall. Car gets tight, has to get out of the pedal, and unfortunately, Chris Sebastian just can't get it checked up in time. And Chris Sebastian's our current points leader right now as well, Tony.
Yeah, and I mean, you hate to see anything like that happen, but that's going to move him to the tail end of the field as Job had to tow it, as did Chris Roberts, who caught a race car to the face. I mean, that was a big moment for the 93. 91 going for a good ride, too. Looks like no harm, no foul for the 21. They are going to be now starting behind
Green flag.
Zerlinski in the 22. Double Deuce pulls the trigger, and we are back underway. He's got the 5 of Ayler all over him. There we go. Let's sort that out like that. Zerlinski, Air, Clark, your top 3. Landis has the final transfer spot into the A main. Serbeski trying his best, and we've got a new leader, Ayler, to the point.
Braden Eiler out front as he's continuing to try to build on a good run here so far, and he's in the wall big time. And
Boy!
22 of Szerzynski as well, as Eiler continues to flip. So we see these guys fighting a little bit of a tight situation on these cars early on. So 4 laps down, coming to complete lap number 5, and Tyson Landis sitting in the 3rd spot as Szerzynski going to work on the top side now, and it looks like there's a lot of momentum building up on the top if you can get around it. But right now, all Andrew Clark as he leads this field in heat race number 1.
How is that not a caution is what I want to know, because over on the pavement side, we see cars get half that wild and the caution flies. We had 2 cars on their roof there for a short time. As back to the point, your point leader in the 21, Serbeski making it happen. Zerlinski up into 2nd as he gets around Clark. Clark starting to fade a little bit as that medium, the mid line there is starting to really get worn out. That cushion dangerously close to the top of the track right now. Drag race coming out of turn number 4. Give it to your points leader. Zerlinski coming home in 2nd. Clark and Landis, the only 2 other cars to finish this piece, coming home in 3rd and 4th. Those guys are transferring directly into the A. Ben, who do we have for heat race number 2?
Heat race number 2, row number 1. Mike Keegan in the 92 starting on the point of this one with Michael Sheridan to his outside. Row number 2, Joshua Steinke in the 14 of Rusty Kruger. Row number 3 is comprised of the 110 of Kevin Hanley and the double O of Justin Sherman. And row number 4, the 42 of Tyler Wilson with the 17 of John Bragman to his outside. So an absolutely stout heat race number 2, Tony.
Absolutely. And, one of the guys to keep your eye on is that X starting up on the point of Keegan. Always strong no matter where we go. There's some heavy hitters in this one. You got Keegan, Sheridan, Steinke, Kruger. Last season, those 4 guys were 4 of the guys that we're usually seeing battling for the podium.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And good to see Kevin Hanley getting back out. I don't think that he's made as many as the starts as he did last year so far. So glad to have Kevin Hanley back on board again.
Field working its way through the 1-2 complex. Pace truck makes that hard left turn onto the very abbreviated pit road here. And normally they park the haulers on the outside of the track, and they just use that for access to and from the pit. Green flag comes out. Keegan pulls the trigger, and we are 3 wide for 2nd.
And that's the 80 down on the bottom trying to make it work. That's Steinke, as they're still semi 3 wide right now coming to the flag stand. It's Rusty Kruger all over the bumper of Mike Keegan as this one's an absolute thriller here in these first couple laps. Steinke back to the bottom, and Mike Keegan in the fence hard and puts it on the lid. What a wreck there for Mike Keegan, Tony.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see for anybody, but it's what we saw happen during all three incidents that happened in that last race. That cushion is so dangerously close to this unforgiving retaining wall that he just got it up there a little too high, rubbed all of the Hoosier off that right rear tire, and up and over she goes as he's trying to get the car righted, but unfortunately has to tow. So it's going to be B main for Keegan.
And that's going to, out of that crazy battle, give that number one spot to Mike Sheridan, followed by Rusty Kruger and the 00 of Justin Sherman, currently sitting in that fourth and final transfer spot. So things are going to be interesting as we see Steinke continue to work at the bottom.
So just want to get this clarified right now. Sheridan is the number 15, but he does have the transponder for the number 32 in his car. As we get a little bit cleaner start that time, field a little more stretched out. Sheridan, Kruger, Sherman, and Steinke, your current top four. Hanley working on it to try to get back up there. Slide job from Sheridan, not going to work as Kruger trying the slide job. Sheridan crosses him over. They work in lap number 5 of 10.
As of right now, all these guys are going to make the race, and Kruger with a big move to the top.
Hanley around.
Caution comes out as Kevin Hanley getting a little bit boggled up there in that very patriotic number 110 car. Take a look back at it here as looks like coming down to the flag stand going into turn number 1, just really looks like he locked up the brakes.
Just overcooked it.
And just kind of, goes, didn't even go all the way around, but lost it by himself there.
Yeah, absolutely. Just overcooked it there. Trying to make something happen to try to move forward a little bit here. As Keegan back out of the pits, 2 laps down though. As looks like the lights are getting ready to go out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck. Sheridan, Kruger, Sherman, and Steinke in the transfer spots. Wilson, Bragman, and Hanley going to need to make something happen if they're going to have any hopes of transferring directly into the A. Otherwise, it's alphabet soup for the rest of these guys. Pace truck is in. Sheridan has the button. He can pull at any time between the middle of 3 and 4 as green flag comes out, and we are back underway. Great restart for Sheridan. Kruger, Sherman, and Steinke making it happen right now as Kruger and Steinke were going at it. And here comes Wilson to the inside of Steinke. Drag race into turn number 1.
Steinke now moves up to the top. He's temporarily going to be able to hold off Wilson for that fourth and final transfer spot as we see Justin Sherman getting into the wall all the way down the front stretch as well. That's going to open the door for Steinke to take away that third spot. But then a good jump up to Rusty Kruger and Michael Sheridan in control of this one as he gets into the wall at the flag stand. Rusty Kruger with a big move to the bottom, heading down into turn number 3. The momentum's going to pay off for Sheridan.
Yeah, Sherman ate the wall there going into 1. But right now, your top 3, Sheridan, Kruger, Steinke, Sherman in the last transfer spot in that white car as they are working it right now. And that is going to do it. So Sheridan coming home with the victory. Kruger hanging on for second. Steinke and Sherman both in the final transfer spots. Wilson, Hanley. Come on. Why you got to be that way? Wilson, Hanley, Bragman, and Keegan all going to alphabet soup. Heat race number 3 getting ready to grid on up as Harl Streaker going to start on the point. Vinny Sansone, always a tough contender, going to be starting outside row number 1. Kevin Click and Kenny Hoffman make up row number 2, with George Streaker Jr. Rolling off in row number 3. He's joined with Carter Cavalier. Kenny Miller starting shotgun on the field. So 8 cars scheduled to roll off here tonight as Streaker going to have the button on the initial hit. Pace truck starting to roll. We've got everybody that we're going to have as 10 laps to get it done. Top 4 are going to transfer into the A. Everybody else goes into alphabet soup.
And it's another one with a lot of big names in it. Sansone, Click, Hoffman, Streaker, everybody in here really is somebody to contend with every night. So these top 4 spots going to be just as tough as they were in the last one here. So really so far what we've seen going to be about managing that car and maintaining that outside wall without finding it.
Absolutely. As the pace truck pulls in on the backstretch, Streaker has the button. Green flag comes out, and we are underway for heat race number 3. They're 3 wide at the back of the pack for the final transfer.
And it's an absolute thriller so far. Is still not settling down. The top momentum line looks like it's going to have a good run here for Harl Streaker, as that's going to give Sansone the lead, and he's got Kenny Hoffman absolutely taking the paint off of the bumper of the 80 up front as he tries a crossover line here on Sansone, throws the slider in turn number 1. He's going to be able to clear him pretty well. Big run to the inside now as these guys continue to trade sliders.
Absolutely. Hoffman and Sansone, no love lost, no quarter asked for, no quarter given. We got one upside down on the front straightaway. That's Carter Cavalier. He's able to tow it before the yellow flag comes out. They're 4 wide for the final transfer spot.
And that's Kevin Click sitting down on the bottom of the inside of the 80. The 82 of Streaker now battling back, trying to hold off the 17 on the inside. I believe that's George Streaker to his inside. So a really great battle as George Streaker loses the handle on that one. That's going to take him right out of that battle.
And Streaker Jr. Has a 17 on the wing, being scored as the 29, though. This is why we don't hand out beers to the tech officials before the race program. Hoffman currently showing the way in the 001. Decent lead over Vinny Sansone right now as that final transfer spot hard and heavy between Miller and Harl Streaker, as they are just flat getting it right now, as white flag in the air for your leader, Kenny Hoffman. Kevin Click currently sitting in second, Sansone in third.
Oh!
That was ugly.
Streaker in the wall bad. Able to maintain it, though. Looks like we're going to have a drag race for the transfer spot here. As Streaker to the bottom, and now contact the flag stand. Where are they going to score this one? Kenny Miller.
They're giving it to Miller. Because he did, if we can get the replay of that pulled back up, when they got together, they both kicked sideways, and Miller had it. 6 1,000ths of a second, I'm being told by the boys in the truck. Thanks, Sam. As heat race number 4 getting ready to grid on up, Ben.
The 34 of Joshua Pickell going to start on the point of this one with the 33 of Double D, Darren Detweiler to his outside. Row number 2, the 90 of Joe Quinn, and to his outside, the 38 of Travis Oldfield. Row number 3, on the inside, the 3 of Cody Hillman, and to his outside, the 20 of Jonathan Lowe. And row number 4, the 72 of Jeffrey Stewart, and the 56 of David Flick.
So, again, 10 laps to get it done. Top 4 go to the A main. The rest of them go to alphabet soup, which I haven't gotten confirmation tonight whether or not we're going to have a C and a B or just a B. But lights are out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck. Pickell has the button. Detweiler going to be trying to get a good restart on that outside line in the 3-3. As the field works its way down the back straightaway here at Kokomo Speedway. Don't forget, if you like what you're seeing, don't forget to like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action. As Pickell pulls the trigger, left front in the air for the 34. And wow, what a start for Pickell. 4 wide.
What a start to this one. Double D, Darren Detweiler with a really great jump work in the middle. And now we see the 33 of Pickell battling back to his inside. But all the meanwhile, that's going to open the door up for Travis Oldfield to use the high side momentum to his advantage as we continue to see the battle for second just rage on between Pickell and Darren Detweiler, as it seems as if that Joshua Piquel might be one of the only guys that has truly been able to make that bottom line stick early on in these heat races.
Well, he is taking the short way around in the corners, but those guys on that second lane up on that cushion, if they're able to keep it off the wall, they're able to get such a better drive off the corners, as Piquel and Detweiler still throwing haymakers at each other right now for second place.
And if Oldfield makes one mistake, Piquel is going to come right down the inside of the 38 here. So Piquel has definitely figured something out on the bottom of this racetrack. But Travis Oldfield using that momentum and smoothness to his advantage up there on the cushion, as we see Darren Detweiler just continue to battle back to the outside of Piquel.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a good hit down the back straightaway as green flag stays in the air. Oldfield, Piquel, Detweiler, Quinn in the final transfer spot. A little bit off of these guys, but then there's a huge gap as yellow flag comes out. That's Jonathan Lowe going for one hell of a tumble.
And that is not what Oldfield wanted to see. I'm sure that he could see down to his inside the 33 of Piquel with those great runs off the bottom. At any point, a three-car battle with Darren Detweiler on the top and Piquel on the bottom. Piquel at many times had to run all the way up where it looked like he could take the lead, but the momentum off the top just proved to be too much. So for Travis Oldfield, you got to imagine he's going to be wanting to protect that inside line from Piquel for the time being. But is that the right move?
Well, it has yet to be seen, as we do get our first green-white checker of the night. So 2 laps to try to get it done for Piquel, Detweiler, and Quinn. Let's see what happens as the pace truck is in. Oldfield can pull the trigger whenever he feels like it. In between 3 and 4, pulls the trigger right dead in the middle and gets a great jump as Piquel and Detweiler continue to throw haymakers at each other. Here comes Piquel, not able to carry the momentum that Oldfield is Oldfield getting a great run on that high line. One more lap to go. Here we go, kids. Piquel and Oldfield slugging it out for first and second. And Oldfield to the wall. Piquel steals it.
Wow.
Piquel, Oldfield, Detweiler, Quinn going straight to the A main. Hillman, Flick, Stewart, and Locke going to alphabet soup.
And it was all but over for Piquel, as on that restart, just a really great restart there for Oldfield. And it was, I'm sure that Josh felt like with the restart he wasn't going to be able to do it, but a late race mishap on the last lap going to open the door for Piquel to get the job done.
The same thing happened to him that we've seen happen in all the previous heat races to bring out cautions. Luckily, he didn't do so. Heat race number 5 rolling off right now. Stoltz and Kottman going to be rolling off in row number 1. Ernie Williams Jr. and Aaron Diefler going to start in row number 2. Row 3, we see Zach McLaughlin and Nick McGarthy. Brett Rolls starting shotgun on the field in 7th. Looks like we only have, McGarthy not electing to start this one. So only 6 cars getting ready to roll on off as pace truck turns off on the back straightaway. Stoltz getting ready to pull the trigger. You can fire anytime in the middle of 3 and 4 as green flag in the air, and we are underway. Great start for Kottman.
Wheel to wheel for Joshua Cotton and Kyle Stoltz as they continue doing just that. Contact heading into turn number 3, a very upset car. That's going to be Ernie Williams Jr. able to recover very nicely and not wreck that race car. But that's going to hand it over to Aaron Daffler now, sitting inside of the top 4 as Joshua Cotton leading, Kyle Stoltz in 2nd, with Aaron Daffler in 3rd, and Ernie Williams Jr. rallying back inside of the top 4 for a transfer spot.
Absolutely, as Zach McLaughlin had it, but stepped on his own junk, and Brett Rolls going for a wild one coming off of 4. To bring out the caution here. Looks like he got into it with McLaughlin coming off of 4, and Rolls just completely sideways, able to keep the motor fired though, as Cotton going to have the button this time in the 87. Single file restarts, of course, the norm here. Cotton, Stoltz, Diefler, Williams, your transfer drivers, McLaughlin and Rolls are going to have some hard work ahead of them if they want to get up in there. McLaughlin being given an EOL penalty for causing that one.
Yeah, tough break for McLaughlin, but contact there is can't have that much contact and want to get away with it as coming to the flag stand. It looks like the lights have gone out on the Chevy Silverado iRacing pace truck heading down the backstretch coming out of turn number 2. The truck will peel off into the infield, and that's going to give the go-ahead for Cotton to lead the field to green, and he does just that in a great jump for Cotton heading out of turn number 2.
3 and 4 car lengths stretching it out right now as here comes Diefler to the outside of Stoltz. Stoltz not able to make it happen on the low line. He might lose another one as that battle for 4th, hot and heavy between Williams and Rolls. Rolls getting a good run. Williams getting a better run, relegating Stoltz back to 4th. Now Stoltz has to deal with Rolls.
Absolutely, and down to the bottom, the 11 of McLaughlin now finding the moisture with that left and right rear tires starting to get a run as things far from over back here for these transfer spots. Kyle Stoltz has it, Brett Rolls and Zach McLaughlin won it. Who will get it?
And we got one into the wall. That's Ernie Williams Jr. eating concrete as now the battle is for 3rd, and we've got more contact between McLaughlin and Rolls. Sorry, that was Rolls and Stoltz.
And the benefactor of that will be McLaughlin, as that's going to give him the 4th and final transfer spot as they make it back to the line here. Zach McLaughlin transferring in, but Joshua Cotton with the heat race win, followed by Aaron Daffler in 2nd, Ernie Williams Jr. in 3rd, Zach McLaughlin in 4th, and Brett Rouse 5th, and Kyle Stoltz, after late contact, going to end up finishing this one at the tail end of the field.
And that was a slide job gone wrong. That's the only way you can describe what we just saw. And we are going to have just one consolation race here tonight. 19 drivers scheduled to roll off in this piece. Braden Ayler in the 005 going to be starting up on point. He's going to be joined with Tyler Wilson in the 42. Earl Streaker is going to be joined with Cody Hillman in row number 2. Row 3 sees Brett Rolls and Anthony Job. Kevin Hanley and George Streaker Jr. make up row number 4. Ben?
Row number 5, David Flick and Kyle Stoltz. Row number 6, Chris Roberts and John Bragman. Row number 7, Alex Stoudinger and Jeffrey Stewart. Row number 8, Nicholas McGeevy and Nathan Kropaszewski, who looks like he will not start. Mike Keegan in 17th, Carter Chevalier in 18th, and Jonathan Lowe in 19th.
McGurthy, Kropaszewski, and Cavalier all electing not to start in this one. So we have 16 drivers. Keegan and Job going to be starting shotgun on the field. Watch for them to make their way forward as Ayler has the button as the field works its way down the back straightaway. Pace truck is in. 12 laps to get it done. Top 4 go to the A main. Trigger is pulled and Ayler gets the jump. Wilson and Streaker throwing haymakers at each other with Hillman right there. And, oh, we got contact already. One around and over on its lid.
Get yourself something to drink. Get a deep breath.
Looks like Rolls in the 17 going for a wild one.
Yeah, coming down.
Oh, just right front to left rear contact, and we got one going. He's able to right it. Keep your foot on the gas and hope for the best at that point. But, yeah, that was a wild one for Rolls. And that's going to put him behind the 8 ball this time as let the games begin. Ayler still with control of it. As looks like the lights are going out on the pace truck. So 16 cars, top 4 transfer. Pace truck makes that hard left turn onto pit road. Ayler has the button one more time. Field working its way into the 3-4 complex. Wilson going to be starting second place and gets the nerf from Streaker as Ayler gets a great jump. Streaker not going to be happy, and we're back under caution already.
Yeah, I could hear it. I didn't see it right on the start.
I'm hearing Keegan. Ooh. Yeah, there was a melee in front of him, and he just had nowhere to go at that point. And gets the old Spanish archer coming off of 4, the old elbow, gets it turned sideways and cannot get back up to speed before Ayler got to him. So caution comes back out. And Stewart being blamed for that one, so he's going to the tail end of the field.
So 2 laps into this one, and no shortage of action when we're under the green flag conditions, but these yellows coming out pretty quick here as it's still Braden Eiler up front, and the pace lights are out on the pace truck now as we head around. He's going to make that hard left turn one more time as we get an extension of the caution laps here. Looks like just trying to get everybody in line as the pace truck will come back out once again.
Green flag in the air. Ayler pulls the trigger. Wilson goes with him. Wilson under heavy pressure from Harl Streaker right now. Hillman right there in the final transfer spot as he works to the outside of Streaker. Gets the momentum off of 4. And we're back under caution. Looks like George Streaker Jr. going for a hell of a ride. He had to tow that one. Ooh. Overcooks it going into 3, and little Tommy tip over action on the exit of 4. Everybody else doing a great job to avoid him.
Yeah, Chris Roberts getting heavy contact there after, we've seen that a couple times now down there on the bottom, surprisingly. Getting overcooked in there, just get that car too over-rotated, and tough to save it over that before you're getting cleaned up by a guy behind you. So, tough break there for Chris Roberts as caught up in a little bit of a dumpster fire there. So, hopefully the best for him as Chris Roberts, the host of the league and moderator of the race, giving himself the cause of the caution as well. So, not every day that you're giving yourself an EOL penalty as the pace lights go back out. Tony, take us back to green.
As Pace truck makes that hard left turn onto pit road, we've got 15 drivers left in this one. Ayler going to have the button one more time as they're doing a little bumping and banging, getting ready to go back to green. Ayler pulls the trigger. Wilson now has to defend against Streaker and Hillman as they haul it off into turn number 1. Hillman currently in the final transfer spot. Anthony Job trying to reel him in as Wilson, a little bit of trouble going through 4. Going to lose a ton of momentum as he was riding the wall there. And here comes Hanley to the inside.
Contact between Anthony Job and Harl Streaker sends Streaker up into the wall as I believe Streaker had already made contact with the wall in front of Anthony Job. So heading down into turn number 1.
Just overcooked it and Job finished him off. Oi! Sticks the landing, so 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, without a doubt. Any time that you don't have to tow out of your sprint car in the servers is a good day. That's a win in itself. But tough break there for Harls as he was having a really good run here in the B main, looking to make his way in. It looks like that 4th and final transfer spot is now going to lie in the hands of Anthony Job. So taking a look forward. I'm sorry, that would be 3rd now. Braden Eiler still holding on to it. Tyler Wilson in 2nd. Anthony Job in 3rd. And that advances Cody Hillman into the 4th and final transfer spot. As it seems like the sim's a little blacked out for me right now.
As Hillman has to worry about Handley right now. Handley using that outside lane to perfection. It's going to be popsicle sticks. No, I'm sorry. We are 3 to go. 4 to go. I can math, really, I can, folks. Taylor, Job, Wilson, Hanley in the transfer spots. And we got one going around. Wow, what a hit. Chris Roberts and it was John Bragman going for one. Let's see what happened to Roberts here. Just really? A little bit of contact going into one, and oi! That'll rattle your teeth. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The boys in the production truck, Sam Cooper Bennett, telling me T-bone from hell. So absolutely correct, sir. That's about the only way you can describe that. And Roberts trying to keep it rolling. Unfortunately, it looks like he's going to pit road. As Bragman also going to pit. Actually, Roberts just dropping to the tail end. So we're going to try this again. Rack them, stack them, and fire them off one more time. As Pace Truck is in. Eiler has the button one more time. So Eiler, Job, Wilson, Handley, your current top 5. Hillman going to try to claw his way back up into a transfer spot. And he's got to deal with the heavy hit. And we got one around already. That didn't take long. That was Kyle Stoltz in the 01.
Yeah, David
Flick catching him. But that started with Stoltz going into one and just, contact, and I didn't catch who that was that went over with him.
So, yeah, David.
Well, no, who hit him after though? Okay, so that was Flick that ran Stoltz over, and then Stewart goes for a ride.
Yes, dude.
Ouch.
There was another one there. I didn't quite catch who it was that kind of snuck through that one, but still some good contact there.
Yeah, that was kind of ugly. So Stewart, without the front cowl on his car, going to try to finish this one out. Looks like lights are going to go out on the Pace Truck this time by, and we are going to try to go the final 2 laps to get this one sorted out. Eiler, Job, Wilson, and Hanley, your transfer drivers. Green flag is out, and here we go. Eiler getting a great start, and we're back under yellow. Keegan having a night he just as soon forget. And it looks like Napa on Napa crime.
Yeah.
Coming out of turn number 4. X on X crime. I saw the nap on the top of the wing. That's what I was going off of. But again, just whatever's going to happen happens from here on out. As Eiler going to have the button one more time. Green-white checker in effect right now as they got 2 laps to get it done. Keep your fingers crossed, folks. As here we go. Lights are out on the Pace Truck. Pace Truck gets ready to turn onto that abbreviated pit road where we've got 4 of them parked already. So we got 12 left running here. Keegan, the last one to do so. Field working its way out of 3-4 complex. Eiler pulls the trigger. We are back underway. That final transfer spot hot and heavy as Hanley currently has it. Hillman wants it. Hanley with a great run out of turn number 2. Gets the run off of 4. He's going to pressure Wilson now. Move Hanley up into 3rd. Wilson back to 4th. They're not done yet. White flag is out. Eiler, unless he steps on his own junk, going to come home with the victory. Job hanging on for 2nd. Give 3rd place to Hanley. Wilson hanging on for 4th.
And I mean,
what a B-main.
Yeah, what a race that we had there. As you said, the top 4 being rounded out with Tyler Wilson, and then Cody Hillman was looking like he might have had something, but that topside momentum just proved to be too much for him as we get ready for this warm up here, and these drivers gonna begin to make a redraw selection here moving forward. So I believe the track will be closed temporarily moving into the warm up.
And drivers starting to roll, from what I'm being told in the production truck. Not yet. They're going to put the top 10 out there. They're going to redraw them and fire it off for a little dash for cash. Getting ready to go into the A feature. And we are still waiting to hear who those 10 drivers are going to be as they're drawing right now. Sheridan 6, Hoffman 7. And Ben, the thing to keep in mind here, there's a lot of heavy hitters that are out of this one.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a whole nother factor in that, in the grand scheme of things, on a little track like Kokomo, this track really, it's got a good bit of rubber to it, but it is far from not having life in it. So this track going to be very similar to what we've seen in the past couple weeks with some of these big block modified races and things, where the surface just continues to change so much so quickly moving into this feature, that who was fast might not be as fast as they were at the beginning of the night, and somebody that wasn't fast at the beginning of the night might be fast now as the track changes. So definitely going to be a thriller here in the feature of this one, Tony.
Well, the biggest question is who's going to guess right on the setup, as Rusty Kruger drawing the number 1 spot. So we are going to see what's going to happen here. Oldfield drawing the number 9. Still waiting on cars to start rolling. But Ben, I don't think we could have gone to 2 more polar opposite tracks than we could in the last 2 weeks, with Knoxville being last week and then here at Kokomo this week. You know, you're talking about the big wide open spaces that are Knoxville, and this tight bull ring that you've got to be pinpoint accurate to get around here without causing an issue. Or, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah, it was a doubleheader though.
Doubleheader at Knoxville and then Lanier in the 410 sprints. But even those 2 tracks, I mean,
they're not the same.
Lanier's a 3/8 mile, so it's in between, you know, the 2. But Lanier's a little more open than Kokomo is.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. It's like no 2 tracks bring the same skill set. And you know, for the people that end up sitting at home and going, "Oh, that's fun. These guys have fun on their video games." You know, it is much more than that. No 2 are the same, as we see Szerzynski sitting on the point of this dash here, and Michael Sheridan to his outside. They're going to bring the field to green for the dash in a shuffle of a start with that high side momentum coming into play, and these guys absolutely battling, as we see Szerzynski now to the inside of Oldfield, who got lucky out of that 1-2 shuffle on lap number 1.
Oldfield up in control of this one as they're 3 wide for third right now. Now 4 wide. Good grief. Now, mind you, all these guys have qualified for the A main.
Yeah, this is just a taste of what we're going to see here in a couple minutes, as they're almost 4 wide, going 2 by 2, now 3 wide again. And big contact. Oh, and collecting a lot more cars here.
That was carnage. Hoffman going for a wild one on the back straightaway. And that's that cutout where they roll the cars off in the real world to come out of the pits. So Szerzynski in control of this one, as there's still 3 wide for third. Oldfield sitting in second, and that's Cotton currently sitting in third, and that is going to do it.
Wow.
So Szerzynski, Oldfield, Cotton, your top 3.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, that was something else there that we just witnessed. And like I said, this thing's just gonna change and change as these guys run it in here a little bit during this warm-up session. Gonna be completely different from what we saw there in that dash to set the starting order of this one. But we got an absolute thriller on our hands, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to call.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing we're going to have to keep in mind, and a lot of these drivers are going to have to keep in mind, is that cushion is dangerously close to the outside retaining wall right now, and it is going to be so easy to rub the Hoosier off that right rear tire. And this concrete retaining wall is not forgiving at all, as we saw during the heat races. All it takes is the slightest little contact, and you're going for Mr. Toad's wild ride.
Yeah, it's a game of hopefully you got that set up good enough that you don't have to flirt with the wall, because we've seen it time and time again. It's like once that right rear finds that wall, it's an absolute magnet. It sucks you right into it, and you're going to lose wholesale positions, if not end up wrecking your car. So I mean, it's one of those things, and especially at a track like that, as the bottom and the middle take more and more rubber. But it seems like, the preferred line has been the momentum of the top. So that's why we're going to be able to watch, 2-3 wide racing at some points, even in that dash, almost 4 wide racing as we get set to start this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you touch that wall just wrong, it's so easy to bend the Watts link up in the rear end of this car. They don't have a track bar. They've got, it looks like a giant W that centers the rear axle. It's so easy to bend those, and then your night has just gotten a whole lot longer. As cars getting ready to grid on up, and I'm showing Saxbury and Sheridan going to be starting on the front row. So we are going to start from 11th on back. Andrew Clark and Josh Stanky going to roll off in row 6. Row 7 brings us Vinny Sansone and Darren Detweiler, with Ernie Williams and Tyson Landis making up row number 8. Row 9 going to Justin Sheridan and Kenny Miller. Row 10 gives us Joe Quinn and Zach McLaughlin, with Brandon Ayler and Brandon Ayler and Anthony Joe making up row 11. Kevin Hanley and Tyler Wilson starting shotgun on the field in row 12. We will get you your top 10 starting lineup as soon as they get them sorted on the pace laps.
And if you're watching at home, keep your eyes on the 5 of Braden Eiler, as tough luck has plagued him all night long. He's going to start from the back. He's a guy that could certainly win this race moving forward as we begin to get these first couple rows ironed out to start this one. Looks like it will be Szerzynski on the inside of Oldfield on row number 1, followed by Joshua Cotton and Aaron Daffler in row number 2. Row number 3, gonna see the 33 of Piquel and the 10 of Rusty Kruger. Row number 4, Michael Sheridan. Nope, we got a shuffle happening here. Kevin Click. See how this settles out. Kevin Click on the inside of Kenny Hoffman, and then Michael Sheridan and Joshua Steinke.
35 laps of scheduled distance here tonight. The only thing that's left to do is pull the 5-point safety harness tight, take that last minute tear off, make sure the steering wheel is on nice and tight, and race fans, it's showtime!
Good jump for Szerzynski on the start of this one, but look at the 87 now battling to the inside. That's Joshua Cotton on the inside, now losing a spot to Aaron Daffler. So we continue to see this high side momentum work, but Joshua Piquel leaving off, or picking it up right where he left off his Oldfield in the wall, coming out of turn number 4. That's going to give a big advantage to Szerzynski.
Absolutely, as Oldfield and Piquel throwing haymakers at each other right now. That's for your number 2 spot, as Szerzynski has just set sail 5-6 car lengths to the good. Angry pack of wolves behind him, though, as Cotton trying to fight with Rusty Kruger right now. Kruger making some headway, but not able to make enough headway as he's now battling with Piquel. It's Kruger on the high side, Piquel on the low side, as that is for the number 4 spot. Trzynski, though, really starting to stretch his legs as Diefler now has to deal with Piquel. Kruger still trying to make some headway, though, in 5th, as contact between Stanky and Hoffman puts Hoffman into the wall, and here comes Saxbury.
And Rusty Kruger continuing on the outside, and Steinke continuing to battle to his inside. And this one just not cooling down as Sabaski now taking a look as the caution comes out.
Cotton. Josh Cotton going for a hell of a ride in the 1-2 complex. See what happened there. It's just a stack up in front of him, run over from behind, and over she goes. So, and takes the car out of gear, keeps it running though. But that's going to bring out caution number 1 on lap 9 as Pace Truck getting ready to pick up the leader of this event. That's Alex Czerniski in the 22. Travis Oldfield, Aaron Diefler, Josh Piquel, Chris Sabaski, and Rusty Kruger, your top 6 right now, as they have extended the caution one more lap. Czerniski gonna have the button when we do go back to green, as they're trying to get everybody lined back up. And one thing to keep in mind, Brandon Ayler, the only one in the field right now with a pro level license, so look for him to make some headways. He's already up into the number 16 slot.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be one to watch, as I said at the start of this one, and Tony mentions, as this is going to be a single file restart here for the field, and Trzynski back to the loud pedal, but a really great jump here for Travis Oldfield. He's going to try to repaint the bumper as Joshua Piquel looks to the inside.
Sabaski not able to make it happen right now, as here comes Kruger on the high line to try to work on Piquel and Sabaski. And Piquel not deviating off that low line as we saw him do in the heat race. Didn't quite work the way he wanted to there, but seems to be making some good headway here. We got one slow on the front stretch, and I believe that's Job not having a good time of it. And you got to wonder what's going to happen when the leaders start to really reel him in, especially with Piquel running the low line like he is.
Absolutely, and that distinct top line that Daffler's using has allowed him to get around Piquel as the caution comes out again. Looks like maybe Kevin Click.
Ouch.
Having to retire early in this one.
That's a shot. Just jumps the cushion, eats the wall, goes for a ride, and then good night, everybody. Oh! Hopefully the flagman was wearing a helmet on that one. Ouch. That's a Hoosier tattoo for our flagman, Mr. Peter Gazinia, and not having a good night. Peter, you okay down there? Just hold the flag still if you are. All right, good to see. We've lost all control. Czerniski, absolutely. Lights are out. Go ahead, Ben. Bring us back to green.
Lights go out on the pace truck. He's going to make this hard left turn here. Going to be the last time on these caution laps as we get headed back to green here, heading into turn number 4. It's going to be Trzynski leading them, but a great jump here out of...
Slide job. Slide job from Oldfield. And that is going to bring Piquel and Diefler up into the mix now. Oldfield tries it again, and Trzynski crosses him over one more time. Contact being made in turn 4, and Oldfield into the fence.
You will have a caution.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Still got cars on their sides here.
Yeah, trying to sort around. We got a small parking lot.
Yes,
Sherman,
we did.
It looked like. No, I'm sorry, not Sherman.
Sobreski
Hoffman.
catching a huge piece of that one in the 21. So from the penthouse to the outhouse for Oldfield and Sobreski. Wow. Hoffman putting it on the hauler. So, and then there were 20. Ben, this is quickly turning into a race of attrition.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you said it. I mean, a lot of these top contending guys with, you know, tough breaks early on in the night, and now even less of those guys partaking in the finish of this one as the pace car heads off. It's going to be, I'm sorry, I keep getting lost in the field.
Alex Rosinski still back in the point as Piquel still running that low line as he's now going to have to deal with Rusty Kruger on the high side as Piquel makes it happen on the low line. He's found something down there that nobody else has.
Yeah, and the top side momentum still going to work up there. Szerzynski, a big contact back here was Kruger and Kenny Miller getting into it as now Kruger goes around, collects Miller, and we got a parking lot here coming off of turn number 2. A lot of cars collected here in this one. Kenny Miller, Michael Sheridan still stuck on the side, forced to tow out of this one. Another big one, Tony.
And that's what you get on bull rings like this. There's only one track in the entirety of the iRacing server on the dirt side that's tighter and more confined than Kokomo, and that's the Chili Bowl. And anybody that wants to run 410 sprint cars at the Chili Bowl, I would like what flavor of crack you smoked to come up with that idea. But that brings out caution number 4, and we've got cars still trying to limp around this place as Szerzynski's into the pits for some odd reason. So that promotes Josh Piquel, or had promoted Josh Piquel to the point. Pace truck is in. Piquel has the button. Coming out of turn number 4, he pulls the trigger as Steinke gets it all sorts of sideways. And we're back under caution. Looks like Kevin Hanley. Yes, it was Kevin Hanley. Good grief. Oh. Just gets pile driven coming off of 4 to take the green. So we are back under caution. Only 20 of 35 in the books. And Piquel could steal this one. You know, we saw him steal one earlier, and you know, to quote my father, every time we go golf, and I'd rather be lucky than good any day.
And that sometimes can be very true here on the iRacing server, as Piquel has been just that, but Steinke as well, having a really great start, starting outside of the redraw, currently sitting in second. So tons of big movers early on in this one, Tony. So from penthouse to outhouse, to outhouse to penthouse, we got it all going on here tonight as Joshua Piquel leads the field into turn number 3. He's going to have the green light for the loud stick, and he is on it heading out of turn number 4.
Jams his foot all the way through the floorboard, making that work on the low side. Steinke trying to get a run on him on the high side. Ernie Williams Jr. sitting in 3rd. Aaron Diefler currently sits in 4th. Eiler now making some headway as he moves up into 4th to challenge Steinke. And they are it's coming hot and heavy right now, folks. As Piquel still working that low lane. Williams Jr. not able to get the run as Steinke and Eiler trying to make some headway to try to reel in Piquel. That is your current top three. Is Eiler throws the slide job. Steinke crosses him back over going into 3.
And Eiler all the way from 21st as there's a car in the wall. It's Ernie Williams Jr. getting into the wall as that battle was just starting to heat up. Ernie just getting that right rear into the wall, sucks him into it, and then you see the front end hopping away from him.
Oh! Thank God for netcode. And just received word from the Romanian judge, 1.5. Stuck the landing, but that's all they're giving him points for.
You guys kill me. It's
Don't tempt me.
I love calling them up here in the booth from you, and Sam Cooper Bennett down in the trailer. One of the best producers in all of iRacing esports broadcasting. Does a phenomenal job here for us night in and night out. But Joshua Piquel continuing to lead this one as this race has been quite interesting thus far as the lights go out on the pace truck. Tony, take us back to the green flag.
26 laps in the books of 35. So we are 10 to go as Piquel going to have the button. Pace truck is in as it guards that infield like it's its firstborn child. Piquel gets ready to pull the trigger midway through 3 and 4, pulls the trigger. Steinke gets sideways again, falls back into the clutches of Eiler. Eiler not afraid to throw those slide jobs as we saw earlier as Piquel, Steinke, Eiler, Quinn, Diefler, your top 5. We got one into the wall, and that was Eiler.
Yeah, Braden Eiler in the wall in a big way, able to recover it. The caution flag will not come out, so that's going to give this second spot to Joshua Steinke, and he's...
And that's Williams Jr. and Kenny Miller going for a wild one. That started up in front of him, though. Oh! That was a big hit. Looks like the 29 starting that one. And I don't even have a 29. Cerninski, 23, I apologize. Cerzinski getting caught up in that one. Yeah, that started up near the 91 of Job, getting into it with the it's like the 23 of Kenny Miller, and snap, see you bye. As pace truck is in, we're going to rack them, stack them, and fire it off again. 29 laps in the books, and Piquel almost gets it all wrong as he now has Steinke on his tail tank. Here comes Diefler for third.
Yeah, big air there on the start for Piquel. That really does open a new life to this race. But that 33, the only one that has been fearful enough to try the bottom as it's all been on the top. But Joshua Steinke now into the wall a little bit, but really building up the momentum, able to recover from that one fairly well as he is absolutely playing hide and seek, and he has certainly found the wall, but continuing to just absolutely plaster that Hoosier all over the outside wall.
Absolutely. Steinke wearing all the lettering off the right rear as he had a nose out front. Great run on the top side. Could the bottom side be going away for Piquel? It looks to be. So is Eiler and Diefler throwing haymakers at each other for the final step of the podium.
Steinke
White
now
flag in the air this time by Steinke with the lead by about a car length and a half. Piquel still running that low lane, hanging on for second. Here we go, one final corner to go. Steinke on the high side. Can he keep it clean? Yes, he does. Coming home with the victory. Piquel hanging on for second. Eiler hanging on for third. From the back to the front for Eiler. Wow. Started 21st, coming home in third. Great run for the driver with the pro license.
absolutely. That's going to find Aaron Daffler coming home fourth Justin Sherman 5th, Darren Detweiler in 6th, Joshua Cotton 7th, Anthony Job, a really strong performance from 22nd to 8th, Tyler Wilson 9th, Zach McLaughlin rounding out the top 10.
And Josh Piquel hanging on for the victory, starting deep into this field. But Josh, congratulations on the victory.
You got it wrong, Josh. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Steinke. I apologize. Josh, I do apologize. I got my Joshes confused, but Josh Steinke coming home with the victory here tonight. Beautiful drive in that number 80. Josh Steinke coming home with the victory here tonight. Congratulations, sir. Hard-fought victory all night long.
Yes, it was. Coming from 12th to 1st, it was definitely a patience game in the beginning. I knew that track was tricky, and I knew it was kind of just top and middle line for my setup, especially, and probably the majorities. But hats off to Joshua Pickle, because he ran that bottom really good. And for a while there, if there wasn't that those cautions at the end, maybe he would have kept it there and just had that lead. But those cautions more than likely saved me. And at that point, I really had to buckle down, keep the car underneath me, and find that right wing angle to get the right bite, and just keep that car as straight as possible for how slick that track was. And I'm just glad it all came together.
Well, in the closing laps, we saw you completely wear the lettering off the right rear of that Hoosier tire. Talk us through just how nerve-wracking it can be to run that high at this place that's so unforgiving.
Yeah, you really got to find your entry point, because if you swing out, or like if you're going in too hot, or if you're getting it too sideways, you really don't know what your car is going to do. You really just got to kind of drive it into where you think you're going to end up, and pray to God your right rear grabs that cushion, or you just kind of tap that wall coming out, and hopefully it doesn't really upset the car. But that was my main thing, was I really wasn't finding my entry and exit earlier in the stages, but in those closing laps, I'm like, this is what I need to do. These are the marks I need to hit. This is the amount of throttle, and just keep it smooth. And once I had that car smooth, it seemed like I really carried the majority of the momentum that I needed to win that one.
Well, you really ducked some good ones. But again, congratulations on the victory. Before we let you go, is there anybody you need to thank?
I'd like to thank the guys at Black Diamond, Velocity Paints, Brett at UDTV. I'd like to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. I mean, I enjoy watching these. They're always really exciting, and always hats off to Chris for trying to keep this league going. He's got some work to do, but I have faith in him, and I always love coming back to these races, because once they're going green to green, it's always good competitive racing, and it shows even some of those long green stretch runs that we can have, and they're always a lot of fun. That's what keeps bringing me back. But yeah, also Tim's Dirt Track Simulators, and also hats off to Josh and Braden on the P2 and P3.
All right, so we will see you in a few minutes at the Big E at Eldora in the big blocks. Best of luck to you in that race.
Thank you.
So that was your winner, Josh Steinke, hanging on for the victory. Ben, I believe you've got Josh Piquel with you now.
Josh, a really great run for you, as it looked like you maybe had that one in the bag. The only car that had the bravery to continuously stick it around the bottom. What was it like just being one of the only guys running that line all night long?
I'll be honest with you, the track stuck a lot longer than I thought it would have down there. But yeah, that was just the game plan from the beginning. Stay on the bottom and out of everyone's way, and I cannot run the top here, so that was my game plan, just stay low.
And it certainly paid off, as just really even early on in the heat races, really showing some dominance on the bottom of the track, and it rolled right into the feature for you. So, as you got down the run there, and obviously some circumstances that lead to you being the trigger man, how did that affect your mentality from when you were sitting in third and fourth spot versus trying to hold on to this one?
I wish I would have stayed green. We looked like we were pulling away from fourth and fifth or something like that. But yeah, if we would have stayed green a little bit longer, I think I might have been able to get it. The restarts was just killing me. That last restart, I stepped on her a little too hard and got sideways, and that kept everyone real bunched up to me.
Well, at the end of the day, you finish here with a podium spot, coming home second. Who do you got to thank for making that sprint car so fast out here tonight?
Yeah, I gotta thank everyone over at Most Wanted Motorsports, especially Darren Detweiler for all the help he's been giving me in these things. I just started running these bigger cars this year, so yeah, we're getting there. Detweiler Designs, Methanol Mafia Productions, Design Metal Art, and Chris Roberts for putting on the league, and you guys for the awesome broadcast.
Congratulations on the second place finish, and will we see you here in just a minute with the big blocks as well?
Oh yeah, I prefer those, especially over this track. I do not like this track at all.
Awesome. We'll see you after a short virtual flight.
Yep, see ya.
So that was our second place finisher, Josh Piquel, and joining me now is ESPN driver of the night, driver of the 005, Brandon Eiler. Braden, I'm sorry. Talked us through just how difficult it was to pick your way through the carnage tonight.
Really, a lot of it was just luck because there wasn't really a whole lot of passing on that track. It racing wise, it didn't produce a ton of good quality. I can make some runs out of cars in 1 and 2, just running through the middle and sliding up to the top. And it was pretty quick for passing cars, but a lot of it was trying to avoid the carnage because there was a lot of it.
Absolutely, but you kept your wits about you. You're able to duck and dodge as you needed to, and you were one of the few guys that we didn't see get into a lot of trouble on that high line all night long.
Yeah, it treated me good for the most part. The car was fast, but I was a little bit too loose for my liking. I could have been more planted, but I felt like that I definitely had a car that could have won that race. I just tried to make a run out of Josh Steinke in 3 and 4 to set myself for a 1 and 2 pass because I knew if I got the second, I was going to be able to reel in Piquel pretty quickly because he was around that bottom, and based on past knowledge in this build, it wasn't really going to stay there for very long, so I figured he was going to fall back, and if I got myself in the second place, I was going to be in a good position to take the win. But I tried making a run out of Josh and about flipped it, so we ended up back in the fifth and fought back to third there towards the end.
All right. Well, Braden, again, congratulations on the excellent run, starting that deep in the field. Is there anybody you need to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I got to give a huge shout out to AJ Job. He hooked me up for the most of the race tonight. I wasn't able to work on the setups a whole lot lately, so the boys at Elbows Up have been working pretty hard and getting these cars dialed in. We're getting really close. We just gotta get a little bit more. Everybody else that sponsors us, Wicked Energy Gum, Flow Racing, uh, Jessup Logistics, and just anyone, all the other partners. And I appreciate Chris for putting up with everybody in the league and putting this on.
All right, Braden Eiler, again, congratulations on the podium here tonight in the 410 sprint cars. We will see you in a few minutes at the Big E over in Rossburg, Ohio.
Thank you.
So that is going to about do it for the 410 sprint portion of the show. Stay tuned for the big block modifieds, which will be happening here in a few moments. Steinke coming home with the victory. Josh Piquel hanging on for second. Brandon Ayler coming home in third. Aaron Diefler, Justin Sherman, Darren Detweiler, Josh Cotton, Anthony Job, Tyler Wilson, Zach McLaughlin running out your top 10. Andrew Clark, Tyson Landis, Ernie Williams Jr., and Chris Saxbury and Joe Quinn rounding out your top 15. Williams, the last car on the lead lap in 13th. Vinny Sansone in 16th. 17th going to Ken Miller. Alex Zerniski in 18th. 19th going to Mike Sheridan. Kevin Hanley in 20th. 21st and Rusty Kruger. Travis Olson 22nd. Kenny Hoffman 23rd. And Kevin Click in 24th. So, Ben, what a night we have seen already. And if the 410 sprints are any indication of what we're going to see for the remainder of the night, I'm looking forward to it because we are about to head over to one of the most prestigious and historic tracks in the country as we go to Rossburg, Ohio, and Eldora Speedway for the Big Block Modified Show.
Absolutely. Already 27 guys over there in the Big Block Mod server as we get ready to go over there. So for the time being, a great night here for the Western States Racing League 410 Sprint Cars from Kokomo. For Ben Bruno and Tony Trapasso, we'll see you in just a minute after a short commercial break from Eldora.
Ben, this isn't Western States. This was DOB.
Did I say Western States? I'm sorry.
We'll be back after this word from our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. And we are back. Welcome to Roseburg, Ohio, and the historic Eldora Speedway. As for the Big Block Dirt Modifieds in the hot lap session right now, and we have a stacked field, Ben.
Absolutely, and right now, Andrew Clark with the quickest time by just a thousandth of a second over Mason Hannigan, a 16.276 to a 2.77 in practice. So as we always see with these guys, and as we just saw from Kokomo with the 410 sprint cars, we're gonna have another good race on our hands. One of maybe the raciest tracks in the entire service here at Eldora, and this one's gonna be a fun one, Tony.
Yeah, but here's the catch. They just announced they're going to farm the track in between the hot lap session and qualifying, so the track will be at what they call a zero state, as fresh as it can possibly be. So look for those lap times to drop into the 15s before all is said and done for qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this place is an interesting one where there's a lot of grooves, but it's about using those grooves properly. So, it seems like the top side begins to take a pretty dominant state early on, and then as it slicks off, you can get a groove building in just a touch lower than that. But typically, early on, not as racy as later as the track evolves and takes rubber.
Absolutely. As you can see right now, the 17 of Bragman and the 115 of Tupper able to stay in lockstep using those two different lines. Bragman up towards the outer cushion, and Tupper looking to see what he can figure out down on the low side. Seems to be a ton of moisture down there. He's getting a pretty good drive off as hot lap session coming to an end, and we are getting ready to turn them loose for solo qualifying. 2 laps to set the field for the heat races. We are going to have, let me see how many heats we are looking at tonight. Looks like 4, a B main, and then the feature, as we are going to have 10 laps, transfer 4, invert 4, and so far we're looking at possibly a C and a B before we go into the A main, which will be 50 laps here tonight. Cars out on track right now. Jeff Sharp turning them as he's getting ready to put lap 1 in the books in the 28. Coming out of turn number 4, carrying that left front tire, as you do in these cars. Mason Hannigan going to the top of the pile, immediately bumped off by Mike Keegan.
And they just continue to pile in here as Andrew Clark now sitting on top with a 16.6 flat over Nathan Davis with a 16.647, and more quick times rolling in here. Eric Tupper sitting in 4:16.672, and these times rolling in so fast it's tough to update you on them quick enough.
Absolutely. Is Josh Piquel in the 33 rolling it right now, looking to see what he can come up with. Is that lime green 33P coming out of turn number 4 to end his first flyer. And we've seen everybody quicker on their first flyer than they have on their second. That first lap not counting for Piquel, though. May have gotten into the wall. Excuse me, may have gotten into the wall somewhere. The second lap, though, is going to count as he comes across the stripe at a 17.022. Not going to be happy with starting that deep in the field. So 26 of 27 cars that are sitting in the infield electing to take time as heat race number 1 getting ready to grid on up. Ernie Williams Jr. and Josh Stanky going to roll off on row number 1. Eric Tupper and Andrew Clark make up row number 2. Row 3 sees Josh Hart and Russ Berry. Scott Fenstermaker, I hope I'm saying that right, Fenstermaker and Chris Roberts in row number 4, and starting shotgun on the field is going to be that 33 of Josh Piquel. 10 laps of scheduled distance here for this heat race, as it looks like we've got everybody. Pace truck getting ready to roll it, as we are only going to take the top 4 to the A main. Everybody else going to alphabet soup. So Williams and Stanky going to start us off here, and we just saw what Stanky could do in the 410 as Williams electing to start on the outside lane. Something we haven't seen yet tonight, as 10 laps to scheduled distance. It's going to be fun to see how this one is going to play out here. as 9 cars, only 4 transfer, 5 go to Alphabet Soup. As the lights go out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck, look for it to pick up some speed and duck on off in turn number 4. Now, Ben, I think you'll probably agree with me here. This is one of the most difficult pit roads to get on and off of if you need to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's an abrupt opening and an even more abrupt closing with those water barrels sitting there. They come up mighty fast. So if you have problems looking to get off, watch your car. We're getting ready to go green here. Ernie Williams Jr. on the point, electing the outside. He's going to have the first go-ahead to the loud pedal. He does just that, and he's going to lead Joshua Steinke down into turn number 1.
Steinke now has to deal with Andrew Clark in the 98 as we're 3 wide for a second. That's Clark, Steinke, and Tupper. And Steinke's the meat in the sandwich, and Clark gets the nerf and eats the wall in turn 3.
Yeah, wasting no time to get to action. Could only hold that formation for so long as Steinke in the meat of the sandwich here. Gonna hit Clark, sending Clark right into the outside wall, and then collecting, it looked like Piquel and
Yes.
Russell
And
Berry.
And the right side of Barry's car has just been cheese gratered. And that's something you see a lot of in the big block modifieds because they have those big Nerf bars. But good grief, that thing took a shot.
So Ernie Williams Jr. still credited with the lead of this one, out in front of Steinke, Tupper, and Hart now sitting in the 4th and final transfer spot, followed by Scott Fenstermacher and Chris Roberts. So that's going to breathe some life into this one. I know that we only got a lap in, but breathe some life closer for Fenstermacher and Chris Roberts.
Absolutely. As lights go out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck, and Williams, Steinke, Tupper, and Hart going to be rolling it off in your top 4 here as they double it up going into the back straightaway, giving some room to the pace truck to let it get off before Williams is going to pull the triggers. Williams electing to take that outside lane one more time. Steinke to his Steinke could do his inside, and they bring it out of turn number 4. Green flag in the air, and we are back underway. Williams getting a decent restart, about a car length to the good. Here comes Tupper to the inside.
Tupper with the big run, but this momentum building up for Josh Hart. Now looking to the outside, he's got Chris Roberts in the middle of a 3-wide sandwich with Scott Fenstermacher. So really great battle coming to the flag stand. It's a drag race. Give it to Hart as these guys are now starting to catch up to these top 3 running cars. So Joshua Hart under attack in the 4th spot from Chris Roberts, Scott Fenstermacher, and Josh Hart.
Tupper holding that high line as now jumps down to throw Tupper goes to the high side. Not something we've seen him do yet tonight as Hart goes to the low line to try to cut off Roberts. Roberts has his hands full of Fenstermacher as the top 2 are starting to walk away. That's Williams and Steinke, and goes into the wall.
And they were just going to do battle too, Tony.
That was starting to heat up pretty nice. But just that one mistake coming out of 2, just jumped the cushion on the exit and caught that right rear hard Hoosier on that unforgiving concrete here at Eldora, and around she went, pointing the wrong way on a one-way street. And luckily, everybody able to avoid them. So we still have 9 cars running here, but that hands the lead of the race over to the man that we just saw. That we just saw in the 410 sprints walk away with it. Josh Steinke looking pretty good here in heat race number 1. Halfway mark.
Yeah, building some confidence there in the sprint car, coming over on a very short virtual flight to Eldora. Steinke looks like he's gonna pick the outside here or at least in the pacing formation. I know they're not formed up yet, but sitting on the outside of Eric Tupper, now on the inside, only halfway down as the pace lights go out. Tony, do what you do the best and take us back to green.
Steinke has the button. Tupper going to try to go with him. That is your top two. Hart and Roberts currently sitting in the final transfer spots. Piquel making some headway. Does he have enough time to get into the A main? We're about to find out as lights are out on the pace truck. Field working its way through the 3-4 complex. Pace truck makes that hard left turn on the pit road. Steinke has the button, pulls the trigger, and we are back underway. And it is a melee for that final transfer spot.
Absolutely. Hart sticking it to the middle, able to hold off both Piquel and the 6 of Fenstermaker, as Hart sitting in the 4 spot, but the battle for the 2nd spot between Tupper and Roberts now heating up. Roberts to the outside, a big run for him as Tupper looked to slide up but could not do so. That's going to give Chris Roberts the 2nd position.
Roberts up into 2, Tupper back to 3rd, back to 3rd. Josh Hart all over him now. Hart trying the line that we've seen Tupper use most of the night tonight so far, as your top 4 pretty stable right now. Piquel trying to make some headway in that 3rd lane, but he's got to defend heavily against Ernie Williams Jr. in the 21 as Williams tries to get back into a transfer spot.
Absolutely, and the battle for 2nd still raging on as this battle for the 4th and final transfer spot looks like it's going to heat up a little bit. Piquel getting into the wall as Ernie Williams Jr. coming around last lap of the race. Chris Roberts to the top side of Tupper, but Steinke out front. That looks like Steinke's going to get the job done here in heat race number 1, followed by Chris Roberts, Eric Tupper, and Joshua Hart able to hold on to the 4th and final transfer spot. Joshua Piquel sitting in 5th. It was Ernie Williams Jr. coming home in 6th. 7th, Andrew Clark. And 9th was Russell Berry.
So that was heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 getting ready to grid on up. Brett Rolls going to be starting up on the point. He's going to be joined with the 92 of Mike Keegan. Kevin Hanley and Nathan Davis going to make up row number 2 with Zach McLaughlin and John Bergman going to roll off in row number 3. Row 4 brings us Dean Reynolds, Darren Detweiler, Double D himself, and starting shotgun on the field is the deuce of Chris Miller. So 9 cars scheduled to roll off here, 10 laps, 4 transfer, 5 go to the B. And it looks like we are only going to have 3 heat races here tonight, as heat race number 2 starting to roll off. And let's see if Rolls is going to do anything like we saw in that first heat. We saw the first heat race guys go to that outside lane for the control of the field. Doesn't look like Rolls is going to do that. He's going to give Keegan in the X the outside lane, and so we're going to see what Keegan can do with that.
And Mike Keegan looking to rebound here in the big block modifieds after a tough night in the 410 sprint cars, trying to forget that one, see if he can get it on the podium as the lights are out on the pace truck here on this 2nd lap. That's going to give the nod to Brett Rouse as they come down the backstretch. Heat race number 2 about to get underway for the DOB Big Block Modified Series as the pace truck heads into turn number 3, going to make a hard left turn into pit road. Can Mike Keegan get a good jump to this one and beat Brett Rouse into turn number 1? We're going to find out as Brett Rouse gets a very good jump from the bottom on the restart.
Absolutely. Keegan trying to stay with him here in that 2nd position as Davis and Hanley going at it for 3rd place. Here comes Zach McLaughlin trying to get into a transfer spot. He's got to be careful because he's got Bergman and Reynolds all over him right now as Davis throws to the inside on Keegan coming down the back chute.
Absolutely, and Kevin Hanley is absolutely battling up top with McLaughlin painting the door on that 110 car.
Caution's out. Can you look at those temps real quick, bud?
Dean Reynolds going for a wild one down the front stretch. Sam, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Oh, yeah.
Oi. That started in front of him. Darren Detweiler in the 17. Okay. I believe it's Detweiler. Yes. No, it's John Bergman. Bragman in the 17 gets into the wall, and Reynolds just gets annihilated by Detweiler, and over she goes. That'll shake the fillings out of your mouth.
Yeah, it was a big one there. It's I think was it me and you or me and Ryan when somebody got into the pit exit at Cedar Lake and went to the moon. And that was
I was there for that
another
one.
This one right here was just a touch short of going into a butt end of a wall.
And Bergman giving an EOL, but he is in the pits trying to fix some damage because that was a hard hit just under the flag stand that he took, and he is still not back out of the back out on the track. As this is going to be a fun one to watch, as it's Keegan and Rolls going to be starting on the front row for the restart. Pace truck picks up some pace, heads into turn number 3, getting ready to make that hard left turn. As Rolls in the 12, getting ready to fire it. Locks, cocks, fires, and now Keegan has to deal with Nathan Davis.
Yeah, Nathan Davis with a great restart down here on the bottom, but Hanley with a huge head of momentum, able to pull to the door, see what Davis decides to do as Mike Keegan still going to work. Kevin Hanley at the door into the tailgate and a lot of contact.
Keegan into the wall, Hanley gets into him, and Hanley goes over. And we're still green.
Wow.
Hanley able to get that off track as quickly as he could. But right now, Rolls in control of this one by about 3 car lengths, 4 car lengths now, coming off of 4. As Davis up into second, Keegan still sits in third with that bent front axle. Now fighting it out with Zach McLaughlin for the final podium spot. McLaughlin has the final transfer spot, and that's all that's important right now.
Yeah, McLaughlin looking strong as Keegan crosses that over, coming off the bottom of turn number 4. That looked like it gave a good run to him over McLaughlin. He's going to try it in 1 and 2. Hopefully it pays off for him, as this is the great battle shaping up here for that third spot between Keegan and McLaughlin. McLaughlin now down to the inside, pulling right to the door.
McLaughlin trying a slider, as we've got a good battle for the lead between Rolls and Davis. As here comes McLaughlin again to the inside of Keegan. That time makes the slider happen, but Keegan crosses him over, as here comes Davis to the point.
Oh, and contact. 1 to go. Oh, and wow, tons more contact. It's going to be a good race.
How do we stay green?
Oh, to the point of it, Keegan and McLaughlin. To the stand, it was McLaughlin. Wow. Picking up the race. What a last lap that was.
McLaughlin, Keegan, Detweiler, Reynolds, your transfers. Miller, Davis, Rolls, Hanley, and Bergman all going to alphabet soup. But what a finish. I didn't even realize we were on the last lap when that happened.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, that's heartbreak right there. As heat race number 3 getting ready to grin out up. Ben, who do we have?
Heat race number 3 on the pole of this one. It's going to be Alex Stoudinger to his outside in the 15. Mason Hannigan in row number 2 to the inside. The 117 of Jeremy Prey to his outside. The 66 of Ryan Wagenschutz. In row number 3, Zach Bardsley in the 11. And to his outside, the 01 of Kyle Stoltz. Row number 4 finds the 28 of Jeff Sharp on the inside, and Jonathan Lowe in the 20 to his outside. Starting shotgun on this one, the 31 of Tyson Landis.
Again, we are looking at 10 laps, 4 transfer to the A main. The rest of them run alphabet soup. And just got word Brett Rolls is not a happy camper.
I didn't really get a chance to really take a look at it, but
Oh, yeah, no, he's definitely not happy. And just a quick note, ladies and gentlemen, Alex Stoutinger has the 1 on his car, but he's being scored as the 27. So, yet again, don't let the tech officials drink when they hand out the transponders. Lights are out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck. Stoutinger going to have the button. Hannigan starting to his outside. Field working its way down the back straightaway. Pace truck picks up a little bit of pace, getting ready to duck on off as, again, 10 laps, 4 transfer. And from what we've seen in the first 2 heat races, this one's going to have some fireworks for sure. Working their way through the 3-4 complex. Stoutinger with the button. And they pull the trigger, and we are underway as Hannigan Stoutinger gets the jump on Hannigan.
yeah, and Hannigan's going to work there on the top side of the track. Is Stoutinger able to pull around him coming through 3 and 4? It looks like he's going to take a look to the inside. Will we see a slider from Hannigan? It looks like we will not for the time being as he continues to battle down to the inside of Stoutinger. Big move for Hannigan in turn number 4. Going to slide up the track, drag race. Give the lead to Hannigan once again. What a battle up front.
Stoutinger on the high side. Hannigan trying that inside. Hannigan on the high side. Stoutinger trying that inside. Stoutinger's got to be careful because he's got Jeremy Prey with him as well as Ryan Wagenschutz. Your top 4 seem to be locked in right now. Zach Bardsley needs to make something happen as they are still dicing it out in that top 4 to figure out which order they want to start the feature in. But right now, field's starting to get a little strung out as Stoltz, Lowe, and Sharp still showing some battle as Hannigan showing the way.
Absolutely, and Wagenschutz holding on to that transfer spot for now, but it's one mistake away from being handed over to Zach Bardsley as Bardsley's found a lot of speed in that 11 car, but the 66 of Wagenschutz now closing in on the 117 of Prey as they look to continue to hold on to a transfer spot in this one.
Absolutely. Prey and Wagenschutz, the final 2 steps in the transfer as Stoutinger still trying that low lane in the 1 and 2, but uses the cushion up high, almost onto the Larson line already through 3 and 4. As Wagenschutz needs to be careful because Bardsley is starting to reel him in as we now have a battle for that final transfer spot. It's going to be 2 to go this time across the stripe.
And Kyle Stoltz is right there in it as Bardsley getting pushed around by Kyle Stoltz right now, pushing the pace, able to catch Wagenschutz, but now temporarily stalled out as these guys, either one of them, could make their way into this final transfer spot on the last lap of this one.
1/2 mile to get it figured out. Hannigan in control of the field. Stoutinger sitting in a comfortable second, about 2 car lengths to the good over Jeremy Prey. Prey about 6 car lengths to the good over that battle between Wagenschutz and Bardsley as they work their way out of turn number 4 for the final time. Hannigan getting the victory. Stoutinger hanging on for second. Prey for third. Wagenschutz getting the final transfer spot. Bardsley, Stoltz, Lowe, Sharp, and Landis all going to alphabet soup. And for those of you wondering why I call it that, it is solely because of the fact that when you get into the bigger races, they don't just have a B main or a Consi. I've seen them go L main, N main. So you start down there and they transfer a couple drivers into the next highest one. And I believe it was at the Knoxville Nationals one year, there was a driver that started in the H main, I think it was, and was able to make it to the B, just missed getting into the A by 1 transfer spot. So B main out on track right now. Starting up on the point is going to be that lime green bullet of Josh Piquel. He's got the deuce of Chris Miller starting next to him. Zach Beardsley and Scott Fenstermaker going to be in row number 2. Nate Davis and Kyle Stotts in row 3. Andrew Clark and Brett Rolls in row number 4. And look for Rolls to be driving angry. Jonathan Lowe and Ernie Williams Jr. in row 5. Row 6, give us Kevin Hanley and Jeff Sharp, with row 7 going to Russ Berry and John Bergman. Starting shotgun on the Bergman and Landis in row 7, with starting shotgun on the field, Alex Stoutinger. Ben, get us going.
And the pace truck's gonna take a hard left turn coming up here pretty soon. Joshua Piquel in the 33 on the point of this one on the bottom. He's gonna fire off. And that's going to give a great jump to Bardsley now in the second spot heading into turn number 1.
Absolutely. Bardsley making it happen. Caution. And we're already under caution.
Give me your temps there, bud.
Wow. That's Chris Miller. Ouch. Sam, roll that beautiful bean footage.
Oh, Rice.
Ouch.
Yeah, Nathan Davis, a little bit of contact on the inside to initiate that one, and it goes into a mean rollover right up into the catch fence, bouncing back down onto track and settling in. But wow, just a little bit of contact, and it looks like that might be the end of Chris Miller's night.
Safe bet, considering he was on his roof and had to tow it, and you're going to go at least 2 laps down before all is said and done under this situation. But, yeah, that was definitely a Spanish Archer moment as Davis just got into the left front of Miller and sent Miller. That's a goodies headache powder moment right there. But Piquel going to have the button as looks like field starting to form up here. We are 2 to go right now as... We're going to be running 12 laps here. We are still on lap 1, as caution laps do not count. And we are 12 laps and taking 12 of the 15 drivers into the A feature. And Davis having to drop to the tail end of the field as they're calling that one on him. So field starting to form up now. Piquel electing to take the outside lane. Bardsley going to be starting to his inside. Clark Stotts, and we are back underway, and I wasn't live. But Piquel and Bardsley side by side, and here comes Clark.
Absolutely. Clark to the outside of Bardsley now, looking to put sights on the 33 of Piquel, but Bardsley very strong through the middle. The momentum going to build up, though, for Clark for the time being. Brett Rouse now all the way up into 4th and looking to do more here. Work his way up in the start of this A main as 12 guys are going to make it into this one. They're going 3 wide coming off of turn number 4, Tony.
Absolutely. As I told you in the pace laps, look for Rouse to be driving angry as he was less than a happy camper after that heat race and getting taken out like that. Bardsley into the wall in 3 and 4. That is going to let Ernie Williams get to his inside as here comes Williams again on that low line. One of the few guys trying that ultra low line right now as second lane, able to carry the momentum, and Bardsley able to maintain for now as Piquel still shows the way. Here comes Rawls to the inside of Clark, though. Clark into the wall in 1 and 2.
And able to get a good run, does not allow Brett Rouse to get clear. Brett Rouse way down to the inside. He slides up the racetrack. A crossover move here for Andrew Clark. He's going to go to the inside and not repay him with a slider, but making it stick very well off the bottom. This battle for second continues to rage on as we close in on the beginning of lap number 8.
Absolutely, as we've got 2 into the catch fence in turn 3. That was Lowe and Landis getting into it. right now, that gives Scott Fenstermaker the clear so far. 4.5 seconds to the good in the final transfer spot, because we are taking 12. Landis and Lowe just basically ended their nights as Landis still tries to claw his way back up, but he is definitely hemorrhaging time right now with a wounded ride.
And this battle for second has surely evolved into a 4-car battle for second. Ernie Williams Jr. all the way on the bottom. Brent Rouse running through the middle, and these guys behind him are starting to get stacked up now as we see the 11 of Bardsley continue to battle to the inside of Ernie Williams Jr.
Williams working the inside of Clark. That's Clark on the high side, Williams Jr. on the inside. And we've already seen Clark get into the wall numerous times, just trying to use what's colloquially known as the Larson line, using up. Look who drew the one.
Mike Keegan with the 1, Alex Stoudinger with the 10 spot.
Oh boy. Let the games begin, ladies and gentlemen, because if you put Keegan up in front to start this thing, good luck staying with him.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I mean, Stein, as we said pre-race, Steinke's building on some momentum there in the 410 sprint car. Darren Detweiler with a 12. Dean Reynolds with a 9, so a star-studded dash here, as you would expect. But this racetrack, just like it was for the 410s at Kokomo, continuing to change. We saw that top line in the B main kind of slow down a little bit with guys. At least it looked like to me, guys choosing to run just a groove lower than right on the cushion towards the end of that one. So we're getting ready to watch some of the best racing of the night here in the dash, which is ultimately going to set us up for great racing in the feature, Tony.
Just the redraw is all we're doing.
I always get them mixed up.
So do I. But, that middle lane is starting to come in, and they are doing a dash. Or not. They're just hot laps here. But you can see where there's a second cushion starting to form. You can see that shiny spot on the high line where Keegan is right now. And there's a second cushion starting to form just to the low side of the track from that, roughly where the 1 just went. And there you go. Can you say slide job gone wrong? But, that second cushion is starting to form up. As you see that there seems to be a little bit of moisture. It's that dark area just to the low side of the track from the shiny section up on the high side. And it looks like it's starting to take on rubber in that high lane. So, if you set your car up like you normally would for here when it goes dry slick, you're going to have a bad time when that high lane takes on rubber.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of what you could see there in the B main, as like I said, guys look to be moving down just a groove off of that top line, but see what everybody decides to do here, heading into the feature, as Mike Keegan singing the praises of Mason Hannigan, quote unquote, 1 car is a weapon. So you heard it from Mike Keegan. Look out for Mason Hannigan here tonight again.
Yeah, but we saw it all last season. There's no real love lost between those two.
Oh, no.
So we are going to take a quick look at 11th on down, as Dean Reynolds and Ryan Wagenschutz are going to roll off in row 6. Row 7 goes to Josh Piquel and Brett Rolls. Andrew Clark and Ernie Williams Jr. in row 8. Row 9 gives us Zach Beardsley and Jeff Sharp. Kyle Stoltz is going to be joined with Kevin Hanley in row 10. Row 11 gives us John Bergman and Russell Berry, with Nate Davis and Scott Fenstermaker starting shotgun on the field in row number 12. And as soon as they get everything sorted out, we will let you know who's going where. And they are starting to roll them, so let's see where everybody in the top 10 ends up. I believe I saw Keegan drawing the ace. And that would be Truth. And that would not be Truth. That would give us the 115 of Eric Tupper starting up on the point. And we've got, I have no idea who the 2 is because I don't have a 2 listed.
Darren Detweiler to the outside.
Going, I don't think.
Okay. Darren Detweiler in the deuce. And then we have is that a 3? In the, that does say 3D. I apologize, Darren. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you wanted the best. You've got the best. The ground-pounding, earth-shaking beast of the Northeast, the big block modifieds at Eldora. Lights go out on the Chevy Silverado Pace truck as we are getting ready to turn these guys loose. 50 laps, the scheduled distance here tonight. So right now, the only thing these drivers are doing is making sure that steering wheel is on nice and tight. Given the 5-point safety harness, one final tug to make sure that if anything goes sideways, they are going to be safe and sound. Take one final tear off as the pace truck picks up pace, gets ready to haul it on in. Race fans, it's showtime!
Green flag.
Eric Tupper with a good jump to this one. Darren Detweiler quickly to the top. Zach McLaughlin down to the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like Tupper a little bit tight up there off the cushion, and Zach McLaughlin's got a great run on the bottom. Now Mike Keegan going to battle with Darren Detweiler as he's 3 wide with Chris Roberts. Give it to Keegan at the flag, but Roberts continuing to catfish down on the bottom.
Absolutely is. McLaughlin and Roberts still both using that low lane, and here comes the one.
He's got a head of steam built up down there right below Chris Roberts, putting both rear tires in all the moisture that is left. He's got great drive in that car as you see him eating away at Chris Roberts, but this top line of momentum for Darren Detweiler holding on as they're 3 wide. That's Hannigan on the inside, Roberts in the middle, Keegan on the outside, 3 by 3 going into the backstretch.
Absolutely is Hannigan able to wrestle the spot away at least temporarily, tries to reel in, and we are under caution. Piquel going for a wild one in 3 and 4. Let's see what that, wow. That was a ride. Oh. Dean Reynolds and Piquel getting it all wrong. That's not something you really want to see. It looked like they had a little bit of help there. That is, sure it is, the 110 helping them around. Hanley helping them around there as the 79 gets into the wall. So Reynolds eats the turn 3 wall. Piquel nowhere to go, and Hanley just pile drives both of them.
Yeah, and they're gonna, race control is gonna give credit to that one to Dean Reynolds for that contact with the wall. They deem initially starting that one is a handful of cars get involved with that, but it could have been a lot worse for a lot of other guys that had their heads up in the cockpit and were able to avoid that one.
Absolutely. Now, the thing that we've been seeing, and it's going to be a little detrimental to him right now, Mason Hannigan has been using that ultra-low line. You can still see there's a little bit of moisture there. So if he set that car to drive off the left rear, he's going to be able to make some headway. But a guy that has not been having it go his own way is the ex of Mike Keegan.
Absolutely. The lights go out on the Chevy Silverado Pace truck as the field heads out of turn number 2 into the backstretch for one last time under caution, heading into turn number 3. Eric Tupper in the 115 going to have the go-ahead over Zach McLaughlin to start this one. The 115 gets on the gas pedal. He's going to lead the field out of turn number 4 into turn number 1.
The 3D of Detweiler able to handle the number 3 spot. Here comes Hannigan on the high side as Tupper gets into the outside retaining wall on the exit of 2. They're 3 wide for third.
Chris Roberts down there on the inside in the 93. Mike Keegan to the outside of the 117 of Prey. And Hannigan able to clear this 3 wide battle and make his way to the tailgate of
Detweiler.
Lots of contact. Detweiler in the backstretch into the wall. Now more wall in 3 and 4. That's going to give Keegan the nod as him and Prey 3 wide going into turn number 1. And these guys not afraid to do some body work this week at the shop.
Absolutely. I mean, the panels on these cars are simple to swap out. It's just a couple of Zeus fasteners holding these things together as McLaughlin and Hannigan throwing haymakers at each other right now. It's McLaughlin on the low line, Hannigan on the high side as Keegan trying to make some headway as he's under heavy pressure from Chris Roberts for the number 4 spot.
Jeremy Prey using that middle line, trying to see if he can make that stick between Mike Keegan. A little contact with the wall, able to fight through it. Jeremy Prey now with a good run, and the caution comes out.
Any comment there, bud?
Looks like Nate Davis. Yeah, Davis. Ooh. That was a hell of a ride. Davis climbs the fence, and then over she goes. Sticks the landing. 8.8, 8.8, 7.6, 2.3 from the Romanian judge. Yeah, the Romanian judge, not a very well-liked person.
And Kevin Hanley with that, with Nathan Davis going up the wall, collected a little bit of damage to the front of that 110 car with just nowhere to go in front of Davis coming off the wall in front of him. Looks
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
not a ton of damage sustained for Kevin Hanley, so lucky for Kevin Hanley to be able to fight through that one.
Little bit of nose damage, but other than that, not too bad. As looks like the field's starting to form up 2 by 2. We should be going green next time by, not this time. As not sure how this is going to work out, as there is absolutely no love lost between the two guys in the first 2 rows of the outside lane. That is Hannigan and Keegan. Those 2 guys fight like Siamese twins. As Tupper gonna have the button when we go back to green, electing to take the inside lane this time. Green flag is out, and we are back underway. As here comes McLaughlin again on the low side. Tupper using the slide job. Hannigan crosses him over though, throws it to the inside lane, going through 3.
And Hannigan using that moisture to his advantage, but now Eric Tupper has seen the cards of Mason Hannigan, see if he can hold him off here, as Hannigan now using the very bottom of turns 1 and 2 back to the top of 3 and 4. Here comes the X of Mike Keegan to the inside of Mason Hannigan, looking to take away the 2nd spot.
Keegan was trying for a slide job, was not close enough to make it happen. Now has to be careful because here comes Zach McLaughlin as they're 3 wide for 4th. That's Prey, McLaughlin, and Roberts slugging it out as Keegan using that ultra low line right now. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, as Eric Tupper has a rearview mirror filled with Hannigan. Hannigan throws it to the inside, tries the slider, not going to be able to make it stick off of 2.
And Tupper's doing a heck of a job of making that thing wide right now, as Hannigan's got a lot of drive coming off the top. He's going to cross down all the way to the bottom looking for that moisture. Looks like Tupper's going to be able to hold on, as the bottom of 1 and 2 just not nearly as dominant as the top of 3 and 4. So Mason Hannigan going to have to look to rebuild that momentum, as Mike Keegan sitting in 3rd. Jeremy Prey getting into the wall. That's going to solidify Zach McLaughlin in the 4th spot, and they're 3 wide for 5th.
Absolutely. That is Prey rolls Stoudinger and Steinke all right there as they are just getting it done right now. Stoudinger rolls, Steinke and Roberts now for the number 6 spot. Oi! Andrew Clark again.
Not cooperating with me.
That started in front of him. Goes into turn 1, catches the wall, gets it sideways. Pickle hits him, as does the 17 of Bergman. And over she goes for Andrew Clark. That's going to be on the hook, and that's going to be his night.
And it looks like right now that going back to green here, that Mason Hannigan is going to be on the top side of Tupper. So Tupper going to have to make an aggressive move here heading into turn 1. As I was just talking about, it looks like the top side of 1 and 2 a lot more dominant than the middle or the bottom right now. So Tupper going to have to play very aggressive and smart on the start of this one, Tony.
If Tupper can get it squared off coming off of 4, there is a lot of moisture on the exit of 4 down low, but he's got to get it squared off just right, or else he's going to be just pissing in the wind, trying to hold off Mason Hannigan, because the outside of 4 does have a lot of momentum. We're about to find out as the pace truck picks up a little bit of speed. Tupper has the button inside row number 1. Hannigan trying to make it happen on the high side. Coming out of turn number 4, flag is in the air, green flag is out, and Tupper pulls the trigger, gets it squared off a little bit, and here comes Keegan.
Absolutely, and a great start for him as Hannigan going to cross him over into the backstretch. He's now on the bottom heading into turn number 3. Slide job from Mason Hannigan, going to put him in front of Tupper for the time being, and he's got a pack of Hornets behind him. McLaughlin now to the top side looking to throw his hat in the ring as Tupper has been thrown off of his pace, and Mike Keegan down to the bottom now as Stoudinger now building a head of steam on the top.
Absolutely, 27 Stoudinger up into the number 4 slot as it's not over yet between Keegan and McLaughlin. McLaughlin slips up a little bit in the mid lane. Tupper tags the wall going through 4. McLaughlin eats the inside wall in 3.
And that's going to see Stoudinger with a big slide job on Tupper. Tupper able to cross him over going into the backstretch. But Stoudinger's got all that momentum build up now. He's going to have to return a crossover for himself. He looks down to the inside of the 115. Going to the flag stand. Give it a contact. Big contact, and over goes Tupper. Stoudinger pushing up the racetrack, heading into turn number 1. Going for the slider, not clear. Tags Tupper in the left front. And Tupper goes for a wild ride, collecting Mike Keegan and a handful of other cars. So tough break for Tupper there, as he went from leading on that last restart to Hannigan getting around him, getting diced up in that battle, and then some contact with Stoudinger. Gonna be really tough for him to recover well from that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Keegan catching a piece of that one, as did the 26 of Steinke. But, that was definitely, that was a big moment. And if you're Tupper, you got to be about ready to start kicking puppies at this point, just how frustrating that's got to be.
And take a look at Mike Keegan right now on Mason Hannigan, pulling his best Kyle Busch on the pace car, pushing Hannigan into turn number 3, saying, "Hey, I'm trying to come for you here this week at Eldora, bud."
Well, we saw the two of them get into each other during the hot lap session, and Keegan was less than pleased with the results of that one. Field starting to form up 2 by 2. as Hannigan, Stoutinger, Keegan, McLaughlin, your top four right now as they work their way into turn number 3. We've got 22 laps in the books of 50, so just before the halfway mark. Hannigan has the button on the high side in the ace. Coming out of turn number 4, locks, cocks, and fires. Hannigan pulls the trigger, and we are back underway. Stoutinger tries to get up in front of Keegan. Keegan crosses him over going into 1. Drag race into turn number 3.
And Stoutinger trying to use that high side momentum to his advantage as they continue to go 3 wide for that second spot. That's McLaughlin down in the middle. The high side momentum proves to be too much as Stoutinger able to clear Mike Keegan and Zach McLaughlin now and set his sights back on Mason Hannigan.
Absolutely is Hannigan with about a 4-car length gap right now, but McLaughlin's got to be careful as Steinke works to his outside right now. And McLaughlin on the ultra low side, Steinke on the high side, and we know that the driver of the 26 knows how to get it done as McLaughlin catches the wall again on the inside of 3.
Yeah, and he's still making it work. Even with that little bit of contact, there's an absolute pack of bees coming behind him as Steinke able to momentarily clear him. He's going to slide up now to the top side of the track to try to slow down the momentum of the 117 of Jeremy Prey. He's got Brett Rowles down to the inside of him, and any one of these cars back here, Bardsley on the bottom, Piquel on the top, any one of these guys with one mistake could move up 4 or 5 positions.
Absolutely. As we know, Rowles is not a happy camper after what happened in the heat race. He showed that in the B main as Piquel looking to make some headway as he had problems earlier in this event from the penthouse trying to claw his way back into the outhouse as we now have 28 in the books. And Hannigan still in control of this one, starting to stretch his legs a little bit as he's now in. No, he's not. That's Keegan on the inside of Stoutinger trying to make something happen there as these guys are just all. Oh, big moment for McLaughlin.
Able to maintain it, but now in the middle of a 3-wide sandwich with Jeremy Prey and Joshua Piquel. That's Brett Rowles up there in the 17 looking to make his way around. It looks like he's got the momentum build up following the 33 of Piquel, who is absolutely wiping the right side of the 33 off. Oh, big move from Rowles coming down the track. Almost contact with the 11 of McLaughlin. And that was a very aggressive move for Rowles. Oh, big contact now as him and Piquel get into the wall going into turn number 1.
That was a bigger shot for Rowles than it was for Piquel. Piquel still rim riding, as is just about everybody in front of him. Hannigan now to almost a second and a 3/4 to the good. Stoutinger leads Keegan by almost a full second, and then it's hot and heavy back here for about 5th.
Yeah, absolutely, and it continues to just rage on. McLaughlin now to the bottom on the inside of Brett Rowles, trying to make that work. Jeremy Prey taking notes, trying to make that work as well as McLaughlin. Oh, contact for Brett Rowles. McLaughlin had to get in the binders. He's now to the inside of the 17, going down into turn number 1. Big slider from McLaughlin. Crossover move from the 17 of Brett Rowles with a very good run coming off of turn number 2. And he's going to return the favor here in turn number 3 back to the top side. And another crossover from McLaughlin. These guys absolutely duking it out as the caution comes out.
Bragman. And that's Bragman upside down in 4. Let's take a look at what happened there. Looks like just overcooked it going into 3. Got the entry all wrong, got into the slick stuff, up into the catch fence, and over she goes. Do what? And as Sam Cooper Bennett just pointed out, hey, look, a piñata. Gets caught in the catch fence, and over she goes. But that brings out caution number 3 on the night. And Mason Hannigan not going to be a happy camper with that one, as he was almost 2 seconds to the good when that caution came out. 36 of 50 in the books here tonight. As these guys are just flat getting it. It looks like we're going 2 to go here. Hagman in control of it. Hannigan. I can English, I promise I can. But the battle was really starting to heat up for third between Stanky and Keegan when the caution came out. So that's going to be Steinke on the high side, Keegan on the inside, as the lights go out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing.
Before we get there, I'm going to let you take us, but how's about Nathan Davis from 23rd to 10th now, and a couple other guys, Brett Rouse and Joshua Pickell, from 13th and 14th to 6th and 5th?
Absolutely, making some headway. Pace truck picks up pace. Hannigan has the trigger as he's electing to take the high side over Stoudinger. Green flag comes out, and we were 3 wide for a second there. Here comes Keegan to the inside.
Yeah, Keegan on the inside. It looks like Stoudinger's got too much momentum. Is going to be able to hold off Mike Keegan, see if Mike Keegan can get back up into the momentum. He slides up, a little bit of contact with Steinke, but able to manage it. Now Brett Rouse able to make his way to the top side of the track. Keegan's going to slide up here right in front of Rolls. And Keegan now back to the top. Slide job from Rolls now. He's looking to solidify a top 5 finish and keep moving forward in the 17.
Absolutely, is Stoudinger trying something on the low side as just full send it mode. 26 is Steinke trying to hang on as Rolls finally throws the slider that works on Keegan. Keegan puts him into the wall in 2.
Yeah, and this battle was building up. Here comes Rolls now. He's going to pinch Mike Keegan. Heavy contact. That's a receipt. You
that
give
is 100,
and you shall get.
That's 100% a receipt right there.
Oh, yeah.
When Steinke put him in the wall in 1 and 2, you knew it was going to happen if Rawls got back to him. And it's exactly what Rawls did coming through 3 and 4. Slide job with 0 Fs given. And it looks like Pickell catching a piece of that one. Double D, Darren Detweiler catching a huge piece of that one. As, man. We got the 36 of Nate Davis catching a piece as well. So, I mean, you knew it was coming.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple lap span there where they were trading sliders, and then I didn't really see anything that I felt was,
well,
you know, really bad through that. But then the attitude of that battle changed quite a bit, as you had mentioned. We saw Keegan come up into Rouse, and then Rouse returning the favor. So a couple unhappy guys as they're having a little talk with race command right now. Chris Roberts probably trying to get this one sorted out.
Well, he might have to extend the caution, but yeah, I mean the Rawls got doored going through 1 and 2, and he knew if he got back to Keegan, he was going to just wall him. As Hannigan elected to take the inside lane this time, pulls the trigger, and that brings Steinke with him. Stoudinger trying to battle back on the high side, and Steinke now has Rawls to his high side.
Absolutely. Stoudinger beating down the wall, lots of the contact, going to inhibit his momentum a little bit as the 26 down to the bottom, taking a look, could not clear him for the slide job. Has good drive, but that high side momentum of Stoudinger just too much. Brett Rouse now going to look to close the door on Steinke and get this third spot taken away, but Steinke, really good drive off the bottom coming out of turn number 4.
And don't count out Jeremy Prey in the 117 as he's working that ultra low line through both ends of the track, trying to hunt for moisture anywhere he can get it. Right now, Hannigan, Stoudinger, Steinke, your top 3, as we are 7 to go. Hannigan continues to show the way, and looks like Prey starting to fade a little bit as finally Steinke gets up as to throw the block on Rolls through 1 and 2. Not able to make it happen, and here comes Josh Pickell.
Absolutely, and this battle back there is really starting to heat up as well, but Pickell trailing in on the 17 of Rouse. He's really got some momentum built up there on the top side, running one groove higher, coming in than Rouse. Rouse some contact with the wall, still able to hold off Pickell for the time being. Jeremy Prey still on the bottom, and then what a battle back here between McLaughlin way down on the bottom, Bardsley in the middle, and that's Nathan Davis continuing to charge forward into the top 10.
And we are back under caution. Looks like Double D, Darren Detweiler going for a wild one. Let's see what happened to the 3D here. Gets into the catch fence. Around she goes. Bang! Goes the dynamite as the 115 just tag, you're it.
Yeah, tough break for Tupper, and that initial incident, and then right there, that's really going to put a damper on your night as there's nothing left to the front end of the 115, but Mason Hannigan has to fight back through once again. Another restart late in this one as he's got a pack of bees sitting behind him right now, and these guys just continuing to battle it out. Steinke has been fast all night. Does he have something left? Can he get around Stodinger and give Hannigan a shot at the end of this one?
Well, the other question is, can Steinke hang on, period, as he's got a very hungry and very angry Brett Rolls starting behind him. What was that? Rolls just looks like he was trying to clean off the tires and got it all wrong coming out of 4. But we are going to have 3 to go when we go back to green. 1.5 miles to get it done. Hannigan's got to hang on to it. And we're going single file here in the last 3 laps. Hannigan has the button as they work their way through the 3-4 complex. Pace truck is in. Green flag is out. We are back underway. Hannigan getting the restart he needed. Here comes the 117 to the inside of Pickell. Oh!
And really, really going after back here. Yeah, and
getting into the
Prey.
Pickell and Prey both getting into the backside of Rawls there. 2 laps to go. Hannigan's just got to hang on for 1 more mile. Stoudinger trying everything he can, throwing this kitchen sink at it right now. Steinke in a safe position in 3rd, provided nothing goes horribly wrong. Right flag in the air, next flag ends it. Hannigan in control off 2, down the back straightaway they come. Stoudinger just trying to hang on for 2nd. Steinke in a safe 3rd right now, but they are still battling in the deeper pack. Hannigan hangs on. Stoudinger in 2nd. Steinke, Rolls, Prey, your top 5. Josh Hart, Nate Davis, Zach McLaughlin, Josh Pickell, and Zach Beardsley hanging on for a top 10. Wow, what a finish, Ben.
Yeah, that was something else. As I had talked about after that B main, this track just getting more and more racy, and over the course of 50 laps, it was certainly every bit of that. Lots of big incidences. Really a real good storyline to this one with a couple of guys feuding it out there on the track, and it made for great racing as Mason Hannigan was able to work his way to the front to ultimately win this one, Tony.
Absolutely. As we are just waiting for those guys to get them parked and join us here in and join us here in the booth. And I believe we've got him now. Mason Hannigan. Wow, what a race.
Yeah, it's pretty good there for the first couple laps, especially starting ninth. The track was definitely better in the first half than the last half for sure, because it just slicked off, and when it slicks off here, it just goes straight to the top.
Yeah, absolutely. But we did see some guys make some progress on that low lane, but you were able to make the slider happen to wrestle the lead away.
Yeah, he, he's running the top there, and the only way I was going to pass him was going to slide him, and I tried a few times, and then I knew I couldn't clear him because he'd run the slider line himself, and so I had to wait until I actually got a good run, and finally got a good enough run where I could slide him all the way, and I just took the lead there with, I don't know, about 35 to go or so, and felt really good. The whole race set was, pretty dialed up for the top, and that's where you need to be later part of the race. So, yeah, just happy to come away with the win.
Absolutely. Well, Mason, you definitely put on a clinic here tonight, but talk us through what was going through your mind when that caution came out, leaving us with 3 to go.
Yeah, I knew I had to just get a good enough restart where he wouldn't really have a run on me, where I could just kind of short slide myself in 1 and then get back to the top in 3. So thankfully I was able to do that, and thankfully we didn't time it up too well, and yeah, it got a little sketchy there a couple times. The top gets, basically on the wall, so you just gotta kind of pay attention and keep your eyes open.
Absolutely. Well, Mason, before we let you go celebrate your victory here tonight at Eldora, is there anybody you need to thank?
Yeah, for sure. Black Diamond Motorsports, UDTV, Tim Sims, Speech Up with You1, Velocity Race Designs, and all the guys at DOB for putting this on, and you guys for broadcasting it.
All right, Mason Hannigan, again, congratulations on the victory here tonight at Eldora. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
So that was our winner, Mason Hannigan. As I believe, Ben, you have Alex Stoutinger with you now.
Alex, an absolutely
Not yet.
perfect night here for you. Not yet. In just a minute.
Drag him down.
But,
There we go. Right above us. Now you got
Alex,
him.
Ben in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
An absolutely stellar performance here from you, able to come home with a second place finish as you had to work through some of the most heated battles on the track all night.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough one, that's for sure.
As you sit in the driver's seat coming through this field, how mentally wearing was it on you to be fast, but with all these battles around you, you couldn't really just pick where you wanted to be on the track. You kind of had to run where you had to run on the track.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty good in traffic, so it's just about making moves and kind of knowing where you can and can't run. I mean, early in the race when I was making my passes, it was through the middle, and everyone around me just seemed to be running the top and the bottom, so it was like perfect, like right where I wanted to be. There was a line open, and it kind of sucks because when you throw a slider, some people just don't lift, and then it makes it look bad. If people lifted it for the slide jobs and just dove underneath, it'd be a lot more fun because you could throw them sliders and have really close racing, but people don't lift, and so you really gotta keep it straight and just hope that you can motor by them. It's all about grip.
And that really kind of set me up exactly for my next question. I mean, on all those restarts there, I mean, sitting in that second spot, you had a handful of different car numbers that I'm sure that you could probably see out that driver's side window.
Yeah, the main one I was trying to get to is that number 1 of Mason there in front of me. I really wanted to win this race, but man, he was on his game, and he's a really good driver. Congrats to Mason, and congrats to Josh on his 3rd place. But yeah, I mean, I just when I get in these races, the only thing I think about is getting to the front. No matter where I start, that's the only thing I think about, and just hopefully I got it right on the setup and go for it. I think we were pretty close on this one, but Mason had the winning car for sure.
Absolutely, and a really great one. You definitely hit the setup here tonight at Eldora. Who do you got to thank here for getting that 27 into victory lane? Or I'm sorry, on the podium.
Yeah, I wish, but no. Mike Keegan Racing, Joe Isbell for the paint, JZ Irish Photography, and everyone else that helps out with me on iRacing and just in general. I appreciate everybody, and you guys for broadcasting, Chris for the league, and everyone watching.
Congratulations on the second place finish, Alex. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you. You too. Hopefully I see you too.
So that was our second place finisher, Alex Stoutinger. And I believe we've got Josh Stanky with us now. Josh, second time we've spoken to you tonight. Congratulations on the podium and a hard-fought battle here at the Big E.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun battles with some of the guys out there. Mike Keegan for a while, Brett for a while, and I know there was many other good battles. And these cars are a lot of fun to me. I'm really not used to them. It's maybe actually my seventh time ever running them. I just love the way they feel. And you got to thank the guys at Black Diamond for hooking up such a good setup. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be anything. I mean, the car just felt great. Was really able to find the bite with the throttle. It's a lot more throttle control than what those sprint cars were in the last session. And it's really rewarding just to get a podium here. And I'm really happy.
Well, I'll give you the key to these cars. You got to keep in mind that it's 468 cubic inches and a whole ton of torque. So, yeah, you definitely got to be mindful of the throttle pedal in these big block modifieds. But you started a little bit deeper than we're used to seeing you here. The redraw did not do you any favors.
No, it did not. I was actually not too bummed about it because I was like, "Oh, I guess this will give me some time to get a real feel of what the feature's going to feel like," and wasn't sure how the car was going to feel, and it just ended up being patient, just like in the last race, and just find my marks. Was able to just be smooth, find the grip on the exits was what seems to be the quickest way around, just to build up all that momentum on these big straightaways at Eldora and just find the bite. I don't know. It felt good, and I was able to just make my way up. That 50 lapper is longer than I'm used to, but it was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, Josh, again, congratulations on your second podium of the night. Is there anybody you need to thank before we let you go?
I'd like to thank the guys at Black Diamond. You guys for putting on the broadcast, Chris at DOB, and all the members that do what they do every week, and fans and family. Hopefully, they loved watching it.
All right, Josh Stanky, congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Yep, thanks.
So, Ben, what of A-Main we just saw. What a night of racing we just saw.
Absolutely. You know, like I said at the end of this one here, as I said, you know, going into the warm-up session with tracks like these that are ever so evolving, it's tough to not get good racing. And it's something that I talked about all of last season and all through the beginning of this one, is the talent level that this series draws with the DOB big block modifieds or the 410 sprint cars. Both were really great races. So, I mean, these guys just never disappoint. It's great, tight racing. It's clean racing. And as you saw here tonight, something that I always love to see, you know, obviously I don't ever want to see anybody have to go out of a race for any reason, but fireworks on the track makes for good storyline, and that's racing. So great one here with some fireworks from Eldora tonight, Tony.
Absolutely. As just a word from race control, Brett Rolls has been called to the big white hauler. So there's a come to Jesus meeting happening right now after what we saw happen in the A-Main. Quick rundown of the finishing order. Hannigan, Stoutinger, Steinke, your top three. Brett Rolls hanging on for fourth. Jeremy Prey coming home in fifth. Sixth going to Josh Hart. Nate Davis hanging on for seventh. Zach McLaughlin finally stopped his free fall through the field, coming home in eighth. Josh Piquel coming home in ninth. Zach Beardsley running out your top 10. Jeff Sharp, Ernie Williams, Kevin Hanley, Russ Berry, and Eric Tupper rounding out your top 15, Ben.
Brian Wagenschutz came home in 16th. Chris Roberts 17th. Scott Fenstermacher 18th. Fenstermaker, sorry. Dean Reynolds in 19th. Mike Keegan 20th. Darren Detweiler 3 laps down in 21st. John Bragman 16 laps down in early retiree 22nd. Kyle Stoltz, Andrew Clark, and Tyson Landis, Andrew Clark was the last one retiring early, coming home 24th.
So that is going to do it for us here tonight. Be sure to join Sam Cooper Bennett and myself tomorrow night for the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series as we head to the largest track they are going to visit all season, and that, of course, is Talladega in the Xfinity cars. Still up in the air as to whether or not we are going to see the E-Formula Series 3-liter division fire off on Saturday. We just stay posted to the ESPN family networks. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications. Be sure to tag us in posts on Facebook, and we will see you next time here from ESPN. For Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett in the production truck, for Mr. Ben Bruno up here in the tower with me, this is Tony Trapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night.